All right, looks like we are live. Let's see if this actually comes up. Oops, turn the volume down because this is gonna come up in a second. And actually, I guess I should check the volume, make sure you guys can hear me. Okay, I can't be heard. So it doesn't look like Emma is in here yet, but I will hang out for a minute and see if anybody decides to join me. If not, this will be quick. So just see what we got here. So for those who watch later, plan tonight is just to go through, as usual, my weekly pickups. Talk about some stuff I have coming up. Have a little eBay rant. Hey, unruly. And so, yeah, I was just saying what my kind of plan is for tonight is go through my books that I picked up this week. I have a little eBay rant and maybe another little rant. I'll decide if I'm going to do that or not. I'm debating. And then I have a talk about some stuff I have coming up. So that's just kind of the plan. Rant away. Well, I might have to do that. I might do that first here. We'll see. We can maybe do the eBay rant here first. So, been trying to pick up just some lower end books for PlanetCon, just get a few signatures. Nothing too major. And part of that is I have been like maybe not as picky as I normally been. I mean, I'm still looking for sellers with good ratings, but not necessarily like doing as much research or focus as much because these are low end books and it's not really, if I pay $2 more on a $20 book, I'm not really that worried about it. And so I ordered a book for a Claremont signature. And basically my goal with that was, well, I'll just show the book and then we'll talk about the details of the book here in a second because you won't really be able to tell probably when I showed it first. So picked up 164 to get a Claremont signature just because it's kind of a cheaper key for a character that I kind of like. I don't really have any Claremont books. So I thought, and this is one that I don't mind having signed, but not slabbed, where a lot of the other Claremont books you'd want slabbed if you were going to get the signature. At least that's the way I think about it. So I'll show it a little closer in a minute. So didn't pay a whole lot for it, but came in the padded envelope. So slid it into the bottom, folded it over, taped it. That was it. That was how it was shipped. And it was shipped like this. So there was one piece of cardboard in the envelope, and it was just taped face down to the cardboard. And actually, the top and the bottom tape pieces, get up here, were already broke before they even got here. So, but miraculously, book was not, despite that, was not damaged in terms of that kind of thing. So this book was listed as near mint, high grade copy. And, but the pictures weren't great. They were just a little dark, and I didn't think nothing about it. And I may have to take this out of the bag to actually show you guys. But in addition to the fact that, like, let's see if I can get it where you guys can see it. Get past the glare. Yeah, you can't really see it in the bag on this video. It's got about a dozen or more color-breaking spine ticks. But I don't think you guys are able to see it. But the biggest thing is, and you cannot really see it very good through the bag, it's got a water stain on the front cover. I might actually take this out because I'm sending it back. The guy's already accepted the return. It's actually, as soon as I get off here, I'm going to stick it in the box. I got the label printed. See if you can, maybe we can see it now. You really can't see it very well. Like, my camera is just not good enough, and I can't get the angle right. But it has got a water stain, basically all through here, up around the star. It's like discoloration. There's discoloration in the end, but you cannot see it for some dumb reason on this. You can see a little bit. You get the light just right. You can kind of see the waviness in there, but Yeah, you can. How can you not see that on the camera? That is weird. But yeah, so this guy basically tried to send me a book with water stain, claiming it was near mint or mint. So I don't know if he thought that's he sold a bunch of comics. Um, so I would assume he knows what he's doing. That he was hoping that I didn't know what I was doing. I don't know. Like, I mean, it's not. There's like discoloration in the end, like on the purple part. Maybe you can see the purple part there too. But yeah, I just cannot get the light. This camera is just not good enough, like my built-in one. Um, but yeah, it's all wavy from water stain. There's a big bend all through the middle of the comic. Yeah, this thing is just not even. Yeah, I mean, there's like all kinds of foxing and stuff on the back cover that you really couldn't see. Yeah, my camera sucks. That stuff is really obvious, like in regular light. I realized just how bad my camera was. The pages are maybe cream. So yeah, so this book is going back, and it was just like, I mean, I don't know who he thought was going to take this book. And it's not like I spend much for it. It's not a very expensive book. It's not, and I wasn't looking for a 9.8 by any means, because like I said, I wasn't getting it slabbed. I was just going to get a signature. I was just wanting something that was a book I kind of wanted that was lower end because I could afford it right now to get a signature on. So when is the con? The con is Planet Con, which is not next weekend, but the weekend after. So I could still probably order something and get it here. I'm just not that worried about it at this point. I may just pick up a couple of trades that I can get Claremont to sign. It's not that big a deal to me. I mean, I know Claremont's important or whatever, but he was kind of before my time when I got into comics because I got into him a little bit later. I was a little older. So I never really read any of his X-Men stuff, or I don't remember it. So I decided it would be a fun book to, like, I was looking, and it's a book that's affordable, that, Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel is a character I kind of enjoy when she's written well. So I thought, oh, well, there's kind of a key that I could get him to sign that would be fine. So it was really kind of a spur of the moment decision to buy it anyway. But it's, I mean, I did my research on the price, but I probably didn't, there wasn't that many that were like selling at the moment or what. I don't know. I should have dug a little deeper because the pictures weren't that great. He had 100%, or no, I think it was like 99.6 or something percent reviews, but the two that were like negative had to do with the speed of the shipping, and they didn't really seem to have anything to do with like the quality of the book. So I don't know what the heck happened there. Hey, NYC. Yep, can't wait, man. So I'm just doing a little rant on eBay because this guy apparently thought he was selling to somebody that wouldn't know anything about comics, I guess. I don't know. So, but glad you joined for just a minute. And so that's my eBay rant to start the show. So, but I've already, like, I got that yesterday. I immediately filed for a return. He already sent me a return label. So it is going back tomorrow. So basically when I get off of here, I'm going to pack it up and send that sucker back. Well, yeah, the frustration is real when they send you a water stained book that they're trying to pass off as mint or near mint. So, but yes, you have a good one. We'll talk to you later, man. So anyway, yeah, luckily it's not a really expensive book. It was this book, but now it's going back, and I'll do something else for Claremont to sign. So the other thing is, it's just me and Unruly, I guess, at this point, but I had so I'm not going to name names. I saw something this week that really like bothered me on one of the auctions that the community's been doing. And I will say before I get started, most of these auctions are awesome. I feel like the prices are good, both directions. People are getting good money for their books, but people are also getting pretty good deals. I think they work great. There's a ton of them going on, which is maybe a little overkill in my opinion, but I get it. Everybody's trying to make some money for con season or whatever. And I understand trying to sell books and make a little money. I'm not begrudging anybody for doing that. But I did see a member of our community like basically trying to trick people into buying some books that weren't worth very much. Like starting them at 2.5 times what you could buy them for eBay on for bids. Then making all kinds of claims about how high quality they were and they were hard to get variants and stuff. And it really just kind of bothered me. I saw like 3 books of this auction, and he did it with all 3 books. The first 2 nobody bought, nobody fell for it. The third time they did, and they paid probably almost triple what they would have had to pay if they just went on eBay for the book. Because it's not a hard book to get. It's not a valuable. It's a $5 book plus shipping on eBay, and so I'm not going to go into that guy or that, but I'm going to do a little bit of my collecting smart thing of there's a lot of books in these auctions, at least for me, that I see that I've never really seen or don't know much about. I feel like you get more of that through the auctions. You get some options that you don't expect. Just remind people to take the 30 seconds to look at the sold listings on eBay before you start bidding on some of these. Because unfortunately, apparently, just like in real life, not every seller is completely honest. And I want to say, again, the vast majority of the auctions I've been watching lately, luckily for me, I haven't been bidding because I don't have any money to bid on auctions. And the vast majority, the sellers have been fantastic. They start them low. Most of the time, you get a pretty good deal, if not a great deal. But there was one this week, and I was just like, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I turned it off in disgust, and the seller was trying to trick people, basically trying to pull the old, this book it's a 10.0 kind of crap that Comic Books NYC talked about on his video a couple weeks ago, where he fell for it when he was a noob, and I feel like that's what that guy was trying to do to some of the people that watch him. So just a reminder to everybody to, even if you're buying online during a YouTube auction, do a little bit of research before you start bidding on something if you're not sure what it is or what you're paying for, until you really get to the point where you trust people, or you've been in enough of their auctions. Even then, take the 30 seconds. It just never hurts. See what's going on in the chat. Looks like Jeff813 has joined us. Simeon says he knows who. I'm not going to call him out because I don't want to get, I'm not interested in getting into like, I said something bad about him kind of thing. But yeah, it's not too hard to figure out who it was. It's, and I'm not necessarily, and my point is not necessarily to attack him. My point is to just remind people to do their due diligence as they're buying stuff. So yeah, Bake, I will say it was not Bake. So I will say that. That's the one thing I will say. Bake, I thought Bake's auction was great. I thought there were some serious deals in that auction. I unfortunately, because of my budget right now, I'm trying to get ready for PlanetCon and Star Wars Celebration, is I really am not buying books that aren't specific targets at the moment because I just don't have the budget. But I wish I had. There was a couple things that he had that went for prices. Let's just say that if I wasn't getting ready to go to con, Discovery Bay might have had to fight a little harder for that Star Wars #1 yesterday. But at this point, I was kind of like, well, he's going to outbid you, and you would just be, and I really couldn't even afford where he was at, and so I was like, nope, I'm not gonna get in on that. But boy, it was tempting. So let's see. I am not talking trash about you, Bake. I am talking about something completely different. That I had seen a YouTube seller in our community, I thought, trying to take advantage of some people. That was not you. I know you had internet problems, but otherwise your auction was awesome. I wish I could have actually afforded to bid on some stuff yesterday, but just where I'm at budget-wise at the moment, I could not. So, yeah, that Star Wars was yeah, some crazy deals. A couple of them things just showing up. Yeah, that Star Wars book I wanted to bid on. Man, I almost typed in. I almost ran JB up a little bit, but I honestly really couldn't afford where it was at, and it was like, all he would have had to, yeah. So I didn't do it because I really couldn't afford it. I wanted to. That was one of those where I had to show some self control because I wanted to go after that book, but I made myself not because I couldn't at the moment. I know you wouldn't have minded me running him up a little bit, but unfortunately for me, even where it was at, I was like, no, that's beyond what I can do right now. So, anyway, looks like we got 5 people or so in the chat at the moment, but let's see. Bake, Jeff, Unruly. Maybe that's it. That's all I'm seeing at the moment. So the negative stuff out of the way, I will give a real quick. So what kind of prompted me to do talk about the seller was also I had an eBay fail, and I'll show you guys. Bake, you guys came in late. Worst thing is you guys cannot see it. Bought this, was only looking for like a 9.0 grade copy, and you cannot see it, but it's got a water stain on the front cover. Like the guy tried to sell a comic with a water stain on it, passed off as high grade or near mint is what he listed it on his listing. And so needless to say, that's going back. I've already requested the return. I got that yesterday. I was going to get Claremont to sign it just because it's kind of a low end X-Men key to have him sign that I can actually afford at the moment. But so I'm going to have to do something else if I want to get Claremont signature. I may just try to pick up a trade or something, or pick up a book at the con that maybe another low end, maybe one of those, maybe something else. I don't know. So without further ado, I'm going to get into my books from this week, since I get all the negative stuff out of the way already. And I'm going to do my weekly pickups for my LCS. So I don't know if you guys do this, but I take my store folios with me to the LCS. So even if I'm just picking up my pulls for the week, I slide them in there to get them home, and just I feel like it's maybe a little better than just sticking them in the bag. So I'm doing that. AJ Hood, and so we'll just kind of run through my pickups for this week. Up first is a cover I didn't think I was going to get. My LCS did not get it when it came out, and that's that Captain Marvel cover to number 15. And I really wanted this one, and my LCS, it didn't come in, and they thought they weren't going to get it. So I actually went back like last week and finally went and just bought the other cover of 15. So I guess that means I won't ever read this one and just stay in the bag. But I don't know that it has any real heat as a cover. It had a little bit, I know, when it first came out. But I really like this cover, so it came in. So I went on and they'd ordered it for me. So I didn't think it was coming in, but it came in like 3 weeks late. But I did end up getting it, so that was good. X-Men is 138. It gives a recap of X-Men up until that point. So if you don't know X-Men, it's a great primer. Oh, okay. No, what's the cover on 138? I'm trying to remember which one that is. I'm going to actually look that up real quick because I don't even remember what 138 is. No, I'm curious. X-Men 138. Oh, that's the one where Cyclops is like walking off. Okay. So that's the, you guys are not going to be able to see that on there. Yeah. You get that oblique angle enough, my phone doesn't like wash out. So yeah, exit Cyclops. Okay. So no, that's not a bad one. Like the only reason I picked the binary book, like I said, it was kind of arbitrary. It's a minor key of a character that I enjoy when she's written well. So that was why I went after that one, that I could, it was like $25 or something. It's what 27. Like I said, I wasn't looking for like a 9.8. I was just looking for like a nice copy that was worth putting a signature on, not one that had maybe 12 spine ticks, brick color, and a water stain on the front. It was definitely not a high grade copy worthy of getting signed. So Cyclops, yeah, mostly Penguin, Cyclops, Sword. Okay, I've got need to reread those Omnis. Yeah. So next up, after my finally getting that Avengers 15 cover way late, ASM. I have not read any of these yet. I'm so far behind. So I'm up to date up to this one in ASM. I have gotten those. I was going into the weekend. I hadn't even got through 15 and 16. So I'm ready for the Hunted. So we'll see where that goes. Yeah, not what I wanted. It was not. I wasn't like looking for a high grade, but that's not even a high grade. I picked up the Grim Knight, just the regular cover. My store, all the Del Autos went to pulls at my store, and I did not pull the Del Auto. I just pulled the regular. I'll be honest, I kind of like this one better, but apparently I'm in the minority on that. But that's just me. Still pulling Buffy. I've liked the first 2 issues, so we'll see where the third one goes. I think it's only going to be like a 4-issue run, and then it's going on hiatus or a break, or I don't know exactly what they're doing, but supposedly this is like a 4-issue run. So I'll probably get all 4, and we'll see if it comes back, if I get it again. But it's been good. I like Buffy. I did get I've been reading Catwoman, which I've been enjoying, and I did get the art term cover. I guess technically you're supposed to, like, you look at the painting, it's actually supposed to be like this. So, so enjoying Catwoman, enjoy our germ. So let's see. Hey, Bear Island. So yeah, I will get to that in just a minute, Bake. The Game of Thrones stuff. I'll talk about that in a minute. So yeah, I think. Well, I'll get through the books, or at least my LCS pickup, and then we'll talk about Game of Thrones. Justice League Dark. First, so my LCS uses League of Comic Geeks to pre-order. Well, they had a different cover listed for the B cover. They didn't have the crane. They had something else. And then the crane was listed for issue 10. So I was like, well, I didn't like the cover that they were showing, so I grabbed just the main. Well, then they had that cool crane cover that's not 10. It came out with 9. So I missed out on that. But that's okay. The story on this has been fantastic. This is maybe... next to Die, maybe my favorite read I have going right now is Justice League Dark. I think, yeah, probably. I've just really, really enjoyed this. So I got to catch up on that. I haven't read that one yet. Still doing Ghost Spider. I don't know. I've been debating. We'll see. Probably the next time I add something, if something else hasn't like expired, I'll probably drop it. Because I'm kind of at my limit right now. So unless something else falls away before I add something else. But it's not bad. It's just not, I don't know. It's just not really holding my interest. Picked up Supergirl just for the art germ. I have all but one of the art germ Supergirls. So I'm just continuing. Whenever he does Supergirl, I'm just grabbing it just because. You need to know now, Bear Island. Okay. I have 2 books left, and then I'll tell you what the Game of Thrones thing is. Wonder Woman, I picked up cover B. I've actually been enjoying the current story arc with Wonder Woman. There for a while, it was really bad, but the new writer came on last fall after the Witching Hour. Witching Hour was really good, but and I've enjoyed it since. So we'll see where it goes. And then I am still reading X-23. I'm liking this Assassin X story, so we'll see where that goes. So before I get into the other part of what I picked up this week, I will tell Bear Island about the Game of Thrones thing that I have coming up. So I talked about it last week during my live stream. Is tomorrow, instead of my Collecting Spark, I am doing a Game of Thrones recap. I am currently in the process of rewatching Game of Thrones. I waited too long to do it because I'm going to have to basically average 2 episodes a day to get there before the new season starts. Is what I figured out after I started this. So I started last week. So I finished season 1 last night, and I've watched 2 episodes of season 2. I'd rewatched individual episodes, but I never rewatched from the beginning, other than when I watched it the first time. So I'm doing that. And so tomorrow I'm going to go live at 8:30 Central, just like I went live tonight at 8:30 Central. And we're going to talk about season 1. I finished it. We're going to run through. My plan is to just talk in general and about the season, and then go through each of the episodes and the best moments from each of the episodes and things that I'd forgotten, things that, the best lines, and then do kind of what my overall thoughts of season 1 were, my favorite parts, my least favorite parts, and then Prime. And then next week, technically, if I want to get it done before the premiere of the new season, I got to do like 2 weeks. I got to do 2 seasons. I don't know if I'll be able to get 2 and 3 done next week. We'll see. At least we'll do season 2. Right now, Mr. Miracle, he's not in the chat, is planning to join me tomorrow. But I don't see any reason why, Bear, if you want to join in and be live and talk, that you can as well. I know Bake is going to at some point, but he's trying to work on his internet before he goes live again. So that's why he's not going to go live tomorrow. But yeah, we're just going to talk Game of Thrones and nerd out on all the fun stuff from that world. So Game of Thrones season 1 tomorrow night at 8:30 Central, and we'll just go for as long as you want. So yeah, hit me up on Instagram, and if you're interested, even if it's not tomorrow, and I'm going to do it every Monday for the next couple of weeks up until the premiere, and then after the premiere, I may do like, I think I figured it out. I'd have to do like season 7 and talk about season 7 and the premiere, like the night after the premiere. So if I do 2 seasons next week, and 2 seasons another week, but so that is my plan. We'll see how it goes going forward, but for sure tomorrow night we're talking season 1. So yeah, if you want to be live and be part of the conversation and not just in the chat, hit me up. Even if it's not this week, maybe you can join me for one of the later weeks, Bear. So because yes, winter is here. Yeah, so Bake's going to be, hopefully, maybe next week, if not for sure, maybe the week after, we'll get Bake in here to be a part of the discussion. Amazon does have a good job on Wheel of Time. I have never read the Wheel of Time books, unruly. I feel it's always been a series I've heard good things about, and I've just never started. It's always been kind of like, oh, I should read that sometime, and I've never started Wheel of Time. I've read all the Game of Thrones books. I actually read, so I came into Game of Thrones a little bit late, and then I read the first 3 books before I ever watched an episode. And so when I started watching, I think they were in season 4. I think that's right, because I read the 3 books, and I wanted to, before I watched any of the episodes. So then I watched through season 4, and then I actually watched seasons 5 and 6 before I ever read book 4 or 5. So I actually went on and had watched ahead of my reading for a while, and then obviously been watching to the end. Yeah. So no, definitely. If you wanna hop in, we'll get you in here. So so yeah, I'm a big fantasy, sci-fi, all those kind of different genres fan. I've just for some reason never read Wheel of Time, but so yeah, but no, the plan is to talk about, tomorrow is we're just going to talk through season 1, the best moments, how much I hate Joffrey, how stupid Caitlyn is, how annoying Sansa is, all these things from season 1, how Tyrion and Bronn are the men. So, all the best parts of season 1 of Game of Thrones. Yeah, actually, like when I get off of here, I am planning to do watch one more episode tonight to get through 3 episodes of season 2 tonight, and that puts me only 1 episode behind my goal so that I can get through everything by next week. Really, that's cool. Joffrey's just misunderstood, man. No, Joffrey's dick. Sorry. Yeah, the kid playing Joffrey, yeah, and he's like giving up acting and everything. He's never gonna, yeah, he's not interested in he's doing other stuff. So yeah, I feel bad for that kid because like people that just see him and meet him on the street are just like, and they're rude to him. That they just treat him like dirt because of the character he played. And so, yeah, he does some stuff that's just. We'll talk about it tomorrow, but yeah, it's so no, that's my plan. We'll go as long as we go tomorrow night, and we'll talk Game of Thrones and have some fun. So, yeah, he does seem like I've seen some interviews with him. He does seem like a really funny kid and like super smart and really cool. And they have to deal with having been Joffrey because people just hate him. With that, so that's the plans for Game of Thrones. Like I said, we'll go live tomorrow night, 8:30 Central, and we'll go from there. I think Mr. Miracle is planning to join me. So yeah, Bear, if you want to join me, the three of us can talk about Game of Thrones, and we'll talk to everybody in the chat and go from there. Joffrey, Ollie, I can't think of any more kids. There aren't as many that are like really that you would hate. I'd forgotten how, like, I was gonna say Rickon, but I'd forgotten how little they actually like use Rickon, however you pronounce that name. He's just like non-existent in the he's kind of non-existent in the books too, but he's definitely non-existent in the TV show. I hate Tomlin. Oh, Tommen. Yeah, Tommen is just like, yeah, he's a strange kid. And there are some kids that are just kind of annoying. And there's a lot of like annoying characters, and yeah, I've forgotten how much, because I really like Jamie now. Like by the end of it, like I've really enjoyed the way his characters evolved. But I'd forgotten how much of a dick he was that first season. And there's just, yeah, there's some stuff. So I don't want to go too far down this rabbit hole tonight because we'll be here till who knows when. Yeah. The fact was that Tommen at least like had some like sympathy for others, and how the hell did he get that coming from that family? But he was kind of a waste of space. He wasn't very bright. He was not a smart boy. But what's her gosh dang it. I'm blanking on it. I just watched this first season. What is her name? The sister. She struck me as the smartest one of the three. What is the sister's name? Dang it. Frick, I cannot think of what her name is now. Marcella, yes. That was like, it was killing me. That I'd forgotten, like, the other thing I'd really forgotten that, like, drove home to me is how much of a jackass Theon is. Like, in that first, and that's really been driven home because of, like, I just started watching season 2. So the first 2 episodes of season 2, it's like, Theon, you're an idiot. But, yeah, there are a lot of annoying kids, because Sansa as a kid is really fucking annoying, too. Like, Tommen and Joffrey and Sansa, and then you get, as a kid, she, like, grows out of it at least. But, yeah, just some of those children of those lords are like, I need to smack them kids upside the head a little more often. Hey, Ron, we're just chatting at this point. We're actually talking about we're kind of doing what I'm going to do tomorrow night, which is talk about Game of Thrones. And anybody else jumped in here? Because I've been rewatching Game of Thrones, getting ready for the the final season. So tomorrow night in this same time slot, 8:30 Central, I'm gonna Mr. Miracle's gonna join me and maybe Bear Island. And we're gonna talk Game of Thrones season 1. So that is the plan for tomorrow. So now that I'm off of Game of Thrones for a moment, I will get into. So I showed like just my weekly pickups for my LCS. The other thing I picked up is I picked up a stack of trades from In-Stock Trades that Kavi Comic Books NYC put me onto. I never ordered from them before. And the first one you guys are gonna recognize from our upcoming show. So I bought this one. I had these digitally, but I never I didn't own the trade, and I wanted to. So Batman Year One. So if you guys have not seen the little trailer that he and I put out a couple days ago, we're starting our Gotham City Chronicles on Thursday, April 4th, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central. And we're just going to go through one great Batman story at a time. The kind of break it down. I think at some point, I don't know if we're going to invite anybody else to join us the first episode, but probably going forward, we probably will bring other people in as we talk about stuff. And yeah, we're going to talk about dig into Batman Year One, talk about everything that makes this great and why. And we thought, we were talking about what we're going to do for wanting to do some Batman stories and where to start. And it was Kylie's like, Year One. And it's like, well, duh, of course you start with Year One. So, and just saying, yeah. So, so I grabbed this trade to be prepared for that episode. Because like I said, I have them digitally. I can read them digitally anytime, but I wanted a trade. And I don't know if you guys seen this one. This is what does they call this one? I forget now. Like it's some version, but it's got a lot of really cool stuff in the back. Like see if I can show like script and breakdown pages, and so there's a lot of that in here. Like some artwork and design stuff. So there's a lot of cool bonuses in this particular version of Year One. So if you're looking for one, I'd recommend maybe this one if you're just looking for a trade, not like a hardcover. But yeah, it's got some cool stuff in the back. In addition to just having the really cool story. So I picked up that again, April 4th, Thursday, April 4th. It'll be on Comic Book NYC's channel, the first episode, and then after that we're gonna just rotate. And we'll set our schedule out a little more. So spoiler warning we haven't announced for sure, and we haven't finalized for certain what we're going to do with our second and maybe third. We may split this one into 2, but image how Miller wrote Alfred. It's like everyone who came after just reverted Alfred back to Bland. Yeah, Alfred's awesome when he's done it correctly. And really, have you read the Batman Annual #3? That Tom Taylor wrote back in December? Because it's a really good Alfred story. And it's Batman Annual #3. And I think it came out in early December. Shouldn't be that hard to find, but it's a really good Alfred-centered story. It's awesome. I really enjoyed it. So spoiler for episode 2, this is probably where we're going next. After Batman Year One, as we're probably going to the Long Halloween. This is another trade. I had all these like digitally. I have some of them in hard the issues, but for some reason I don't have them all, but I thought I had them all back when they first came out in the 90s. So I don't know, somewhere along the time between moving to Virginia and back, I got rid of some of them, which is a disappointment. So I'd like to get the rest of those back, but yeah, the Batman annuals have been good. The first print of Year One trade, not the comic. Oh, I missed something with Bake the Snake. Yeah, it's awesome. Actually, got the first print of that recently. Oh, first print of the trade. Nice. Just read a Batman annuals. Have a good pass. So. Yeah. So, well, actually, John, I just got into that. How's it going? Mainly is so. I picked up some trades, and I picked up year one for the Gotham City Chronicles first episode because I only had those digitally. So I'm gonna run through that, and then I was giving a spoiler for where we're probably going with episode 2. Copy and I, that's at least what we're thinking right now. We may adjust, but I went on and picked up a hardcover of this because, again, I had these digitally, and some of them, like the individual issues, but for some reason I don't have them all. So Long Halloween is solid, says Unruly. And then the third Batman trade I picked up is the other story that we're discussing, trying to go into, and that's in the Scott Snyder's New 52 run. We may go to it after Long Halloween, or we may do something else, but we're definitely going to go through the Court of Owls and all the way through Death of the Family on his run. So those are definitely going to be upcoming episodes as well. So those are kind of things. So those are the 3 Batman trades I picked up. The other 2 trades I picked up are not for me. I'm working on an AOK for someone that I'm going to send out, and I'm going to get them signed at PlanetCon. And so I'm not going to show those right now, but so my plan is to get those signed at PlanetCon and send those out as part of an AOK I'm trying to put together. This will be the first one I've done for somebody. So working on that. Let's see. I have Kavi talked about Gotham City Central or Gotham Central. Like, I've read some of those, but it's been a long time, and I never read like the whole run. So yeah, if he decides to go down that road, that would be something I'm definitely interested in too. So, but yeah, we're planning to kind of just work our way through it. There's so many. That was one of the things we were having a hard time when we were discussing it. Was like there's so many really good stories. In hindsight, I never really thought about it, but I feel like, and I know people that aren't Batman fans or they're Spider-Man fans may argue with me a little bit, but I feel like in terms of stories, Batman has more iconic stories than maybe any other character, like that people can just name. The Long Halloween and Year One and Dark Knight Returns and Hush and that Gotham City Central and Nightfall and more recently Court of Owls and White Knight. And so I just feel like there's so much territory that we can cover, and that was one of the reasons we went down that road. And something else eludes me. Brubaker. Choices. I got those trades. I haven't read them yet. Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of places. I think, I haven't talked a lot about, like I said, we're going to do April 4th is going to be the first one. We're going to do Year One. At that time, we'll probably kind of lay out a schedule a little more, and we may come out with it before, let people know before then, kind of a reading list of what we're planning to do and how often we're planning to do it. Right now, I think we're going to shoot for like every other week, maybe every 3 weeks, just depending on how our schedules work. And it may not always be Thursday. And that was the way it worked before. But we'll try to give people as much advance notice as they can so they can kind of read with us or reread. And yeah, but yeah, we were debating so much on which story to start with, and he was just like, it's gotta be Year One. And I was like, yeah, that's the best place to start. You start at the beginning in terms of, I mean, I realize it's not the first Batman story ever told, but it's the beginning of him being Batman. It's a classic. It's Frank Miller. It's so good. It's one of my favorites. And then we figured we just go from there. And there's so many different ways to go. One of the things that, so I think we're wanting to do, so all the story, if you can name a story, it's on the list. I know that the list is too long to but we're just going to work through it and we'll see where we get. And hopefully the goal is we're starting with Year One and Long Halloween, and then maybe going to the Court of Owls, maybe waiting on that. And so our goal is actually to do obviously do the classics, but also mix in some stories like Gotham Central that are maybe less appreciated or less people know less about, that are also good. So that is kind of our goal for Gotham City Chronicles. So yeah, see what's going on in the chat. Oh, looks like Catwoman. Dang, did I miss something? Yeah, I'm not sure what I missed there. If you're asking about Catwoman, I did, like I showed earlier. Johnny missed it, but I might do a recap here real quick. But I showed it earlier. My pickups this week. I finally got this one back ordered. I didn't think my LCS was going to get it, so but they ended up getting it in just really late. I picked up ASM, the first issue of The Hunted, first Grim Knight. I just got the regular Jock cover. Still picking up Buffy. Gonna stick through this first story arc, and then I know they're taking a break, and then they're gonna come back, but I may or may not keep after the first story arc, but I'm gonna stick with the first one. Here's the Catwoman, Unruly. So and eventually Nightfall. Yes, Nightfall is definitely on our list, Fake. It's been a long time since I've read that. I have never written back and reread that from when I was a kid. I remember loving it as a kid, so it is on my list for sure. Nightfall is, and then also I want to go back and reread Cataclysm and No Man's Land. I would like to get there, but those are big. I mean, that's going to be multiple episodes, so we're going to kind of spread that kind of stuff out. But I think eventually we're going to try to get. We'll see how long it goes, how long he can stand dealing with me. So, but Justice League Dark, still doing Spider-Gwen. Just kind of doing a real quick recap here. Still grabbing all the Art Germ Supergirls, even though I'm not reading Supergirl. I'm just grabbing the Art Germs. And then I have been reading Wonder Woman. And well, have you guys seen some of the Jenny Frison that comes back on issue 70? And she's put out her covers for 70, 71, and 72. And 72 is fire. I really, to me, like people talk about like Adam Hughes as like the Catwoman cover artist. I think Jenny Frison is becoming the Wonder Woman cover artist. To me, you guys know I'm looking for all of those, trying to get all the back issue ones. I think she is setting the standard that we're all going to hold Wonder Woman cover artists to forever. That's just my opinion, but that's me. So looking forward to that. And then X23 is what I picked up this week. And then the trades were Year One, The Long Halloween, and then Court of Owls. So that was my pickups this week. And then the other two trades I'm not going to show because those are going into an AOK. No Man's Land was a high water mark for me. I'm just grabbing the Art Germs. Yeah, she's got one coming out that's like a 1 in 25 on one of the Age of X-Man books. That's like a Psylocke cover that is, yeah. It's 1 in 25, which means my LCS will not get it. But man, I'd love to get that cover. And then she put out like I don't know if you guys seen. I follow her on Instagram, and she did a Metallica. I think it was Metallica poster, and that thing was like they were selling, and it went in like 5 minutes. I mean, it went fast, and it was a really cool cover. Let's see who else is joined. John, I really bake Bear. Jay Hood. I tried to pick up a book to get Claremont to sign an X-Men book, and I was just looking for like a low-end key. Didn't even have to be a really great copy. So I tried to pick up a 164 from eBay, and you can't really see it, but it's got a water stain like all through here on the front cover. And this guy tried to pass it off as near mint, high grade, and yeah, it's got a water stain. It's wavy, and I can never get my camera. It's just not good enough to really show it. But so yeah, so that's going back. I've already got the return slip to send that back. So I'm not sure what I'm going to get Claremont to sign now. at Planet Con. I may just have to track something down there, maybe trade. I think Baron. Oh yeah, that thing was fire. I think he's talking about that poster. Other than that, I think that was everything, guys. Reminder: tomorrow night, Game of Thrones season 1. Mr. Miracle is joining me for sure. Bear, are you in? Or well, we'll figure it out on Instagram. If not this week, maybe one of the later weeks. We'll bring you in, and we're going to talk Game of Thrones season 1 and all the goodness that is. With that, I think that's everything, guys. We will, unless anybody's got anything else they want to talk about. I gave my little rant at the beginning. I'll do a little reminder on the part that I care about, which is, there's lots of auctions going on. For the most part, the YouTube auctions, the sellers are trying to treat us right, are doing right by the buyers. But don't be afraid. Don't take that for granted, because I've seen some shady stuff in the last week on some of those, or well, one. So I won't throw anybody else. And I'm not gonna throw that one under the bus either. But I've seen some shady stuff on one of them this week. So still do your research, even though these are people that we're interacting with a lot. Don't be afraid to spend the 30 seconds to see what things are going for on eBay before you start diving into bid on some stuff, because I've seen some people try to sell books for significantly more than what you could have bought 2 or 3 copies of that book for. So that was my rant at the beginning. Just a reminder to always do your research before you bid on stuff, particularly if you don't know much about it. You're like, oh, that's a cool variant. Well, make sure it's actually worth something. So that's it. I ain't gonna go any more on that. End on a high note. Game of Thrones tomorrow, April 4th. Gotham City Chronicles kicks off on Comic Book NYC's channel with Batman Year 1. So with that, I want to get off here. Thanks, guys. Thanks, everybody, for joining me. And with that, we're going to shut this down.